We do have the transcript. It has been released. I have not read it myself. Conservative friends of mine are reading it, and they're saying it's not good for the president. That it's probably not impeachable, but that it is not good. A transcript, this is the breaking news alert. A transcript shows President Trump urged Ukraine's leader to contact Attorney General William Barr about opening an inquiry tied to Joe Biden. There we have it. He did want the Ukraine to open an inquiry into Joe Biden. Let's see. Here's Trump's ask for a favor. This is from the president. I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot and Ukraine knows a lot about it. I would like you to find out what happened with this whole situation with Ukraine. They say crowd strike. I guess you have one of your wealthy people, the server, they say Ukraine has it. There are a lot of things that went on, the whole situation. I think you're surrounding yourself with some of the same people. I would like to have the Attorney General call you or your people, and I'd like to get you to get to the bottom of it. As you saw yesterday, that whole nonsense ended with a very poor performance by a man named Robert Mueller, an incompetent performance, but they say a lot of it started with Ukraine. Whatever you can do, it's very important that you do it if that's possible. If that's possible, a lot of this having to do with drumming up dirt on Donald Trump. You will recall, I do believe, that the Ukrainians were some of the initial sourcing for the Steele dossier. And the Ukrainians wanted to help Hillary Clinton. The Ukrainians thought that the Russians wanted to help Trump, so the Ukrainians decided to help Hillary Clinton, and they were trying to dig up dirt on Trump. And you got this portion here. Now we've got, let's see, we got the, let's see, I'm going to do word search now that the transcript having been released. Yep, here we go. This is the president. Let me read back. I would like you to do us a favor, blah, blah, blah. This is what I just read. Yes, this is the president of Ukraine. Yes, it is very important for me in everything that you just mentioned earlier. For me as a president, it is very important that we are open for any future cooperation. We are ready to open a new page on cooperation in relations between the United States and Ukraine. For that purpose, I just recalled our ambassador from the United States, and he will be replaced by a very competent and experienced ambassador who will work hard on making sure that our two nations are getting closer. I would also like and hope to see him having your trust and your confidence and have personal relations with you so we can cooperate even more so. I will personally tell you that one of my assistants spoke with Mr. Giuliani just recently, and we were hoping very much that Mr. Giuliani would be able to travel to Ukraine, and we will meet once he comes to Ukraine. I just wanted to assure you once again that you have nobody but friends around us. I will make sure that I surround myself with the best and most experienced people. I also wanted to tell you we are friends. We are great friends, and you, Mr. President, have friends in our country, so we can continue our strategic partnership. I also plan to surround myself with great people. And in addition to that investigation, I guarantee, as the president of Ukraine, that all the investigations will be done openly and candidly. That I can assure you. Now, here's the president again. Good, because I heard you had a prosecutor who was very good, and he was shut down, and that's really unfair. A lot of people are talking about that, the way they shut your very good prosecutor down, and you had some very bad people involved. Mr. Giuliani is a highly respected man. He was the mayor of New York City, a great mayor, and I would like him to call you. I will ask him to call you along with the attorney general. Rudy very much knows what's happening, and he's a very capable guy. If you could speak to him, that would be great. The former ambassador from the United States, the woman, was bad news, and the people she was dealing with in the Ukraine were bad news. So I just want to let you know that. The other thing, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution. And a lot of people want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the Attorney General would be great. Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution. So if you can look at it, it sounds horrible to me. Here's the president of Ukraine again. Yeah, I'm really reading you the transcript. This is important stuff. I wanted to tell you about the prosecutor. This is the president of Ukraine telling the president now. First of all, I understand and I'm knowledgeable about the situation. Since we have won the absolute majority in our parliament, the next prosecutor general will be 100% my person, my candidate, who will be approved by parliament and will start as a new prosecutor in September. He or she will look into the situation, specifically to the company that you mentioned in this issue. The issue of the investigation of the case is actually the issue of making sure to restore the honesty so we can take care of that, and we'll work on the investigation of the case. On top of that, I would kindly ask you, if you have any additional information that you can provide to us, it would be very helpful for the investigation to make sure that we administer justice in our country with regard to the ambassador to the United States from Ukraine. As far as I can recall, her name was Ivanovich. It was great that you were the first one who told me that she was a bad ambassador, because I agree with you 100%. Her attitude towards me was far from the best, as she admired the previous president and she was on his side. She would not accept me as a new president well enough. Here's Trump again. Well, she's going to go through some things. I will have Mr. Giuliani give you a call, and I will also going to have Attorney General Barr call, and we will get to the bottom of it. I'm sure you will figure it out. I heard the prosecutor was treated very badly, and he was a very fair prosecutor, so good luck with everything. Your economy is going to get better and better, I predict. You have a lot of assets. It's a great country. I have my Ukrainian friends. They're incredible people. And on we go. Now, the president mentions again that he's going to tell Rudy and the Attorney General to call, and that's really it. It's not a super long. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of transcript. There are 2 references to Biden. 1, 2, 3 references really to Biden. You've got the Biden son. Biden stopped the prosecution. Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution. That's it. Those are the 3 mentions to Joe Biden. It's okay. Me having read this, and me here on the radio with you reading these things, I don't think the president of the United States should be engaged in this sort of stuff. At the same time, it doesn't actually strike me as bad as I figured it would be. Reading the transcript of the conversation, it doesn't strike me as a terrible thing. It doesn't strike me as bad, honestly. I'm reading this in real time. I haven't seen it. I assumed it was going to be worse than this, but no. The president believes that the Democrats tried to drum up dirt on him, and he now wants dirt on Clinton. I think that's. He wants to, I shouldn't say he wants dirt on Clinton. He wants to find out if the Clinton team tried to dig up dirt on him and if that played a role in the Mueller investigation. And then he says he understands that Biden pushed out the prosecutor who was investigating his son, and he certainly hopes that good prosecutor. Now, the prosecutor, by the way, you should know, wasn't good. The prosecutor was a terribly corrupt guy, but the president believes the talking points that the guy was a good guy, and the president worked to push him out. Or that he thinks that Biden worked to push him out. This is bizarre, but it's not really terrible in my mind. And I've got friends who are reading this thinking, yeah, it's not good. It's not impeachable, but it's not good. Nah, I'm reading the transcript here, and I'm like, this is it, really? This is all there is. I mean, again, the key passage here. Let me read you. This is 3 mentions of Joe Biden here. The former ambassador from the United States, the woman, was bad news, and the people she was dealing with in the Ukraine were bad news. So I just want to let you know that. The other thing, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the Attorney General would be great. Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution. So if you could look into that, it sounds horrible to me. That Biden stopped a prosecution of his son, and there's just no. I mean, there really isn't. I'm looking here, folks. I'm looking in real time. They haven't cut anything out. They're not hiding anything. And this doesn't really seem like there's a big there. Maybe I'm missing something. The president, his tone seems to be that it looks like Joe Biden used his influence to stop a prosecution in your country, and that the prosecutor was a good guy, and you want to make sure you're aware of it, sort of situation. You're a new president, want to make sure you're aware of it, and also that our old ambassador was a bad ambassador. That seems to be it. I don't think this is now. Obviously, if you're a Democrat, you're absolutely going to hate it. But I'm kind of scratching my head. I'm reading the transcript, and I don't think this is. I mean, obviously, Democrats, if they think that this is something to go after the president with, they're going to go after the president, and they certainly are. And I see people say, the president says we do a lot for Ukraine, and I need a favor, and let's get to the bottom of the Biden side. This doesn't. I mean, you can put your spin on it if you hate the president, and I'm not a fan of the president, but I just don't think there's a there. You know, this is also bad for Joe Biden, though. We shouldn't undermine this. We shouldn't dismiss this. Here's Mark Thiessen from the Washington Post talking about the Biden angle of this.
This is going to do more damage to Joe Biden than it does to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is at least flexing like he's pretty confident, releasing these transcript and releasing the. We'll see how that comes out. But I'll tell you who's going to be hurting the most is Joe Biden. It was just on your show a few moments ago that Senator Kennedy said there's going to be an investigation of the president. And there's going to be an investigation of the vice president because he had a clear conflict of interest in having his son Hunter working for a natural gas company at the same time that he was urging Ukraine to produce more natural gas. And so what's going to happen is Republicans are going to call up Hunter Biden to testify, and they're going to call up all the Obama administration aides who are quoted in the New Yorker as saying they warned the vice president that Hunter Biden caused a conflict of interest. And they're going to call up ethics experts, nonpartisan ethics experts, who are going to say that what the vice president did was a conflict of interest under federal ethics regulations, and that's going to be very bad for Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean, if the president of the United States can't ask that they delve further into this situation, how can Joe Biden? I'm sorry, I'm looking at people on social media. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but it's interesting to watch the reaction. That's it. I mean, seriously. He's going to get the attorney general to reach out to the president of Ukraine to fill him in on what we know about Joe Biden and let them make sure that the investigation was handled correctly. I don't think that's a big. I mean, now part of me. Let's be fair here. I'm reading this as this is Donald Trump doing this, and Donald Trump is not the brightest bulb. Let's just be honest here. Donald Trump is not some sort of super genius. He's not playing multi-dimensional chess. And because he's not playing multi-dimensional chess, this is Trump being Trump. This is what we say. I don't think there's some sort of deep malevolent intent here. If Donald Trump were some sort of super mastermind, then yeah, I would be more troubled. But I'm kind of I guess I'm grading on a curve because it's Donald Trump, and I think everybody else should too.
National connections, local focus. Eric Erickson is live.